because it came across to me as very ableist. It felt like the Enneagram test was ableist on some of the questions they had, because I felt like... You remember that test that made me cry? There were questions where I was almost forced to answer a certain way because of my disability. I think you can see me. Let me adjust yours so I don't have to be like straight the entire time. I can kind of like slouch it here. So yeah, did you see my last thumbnail? I'm getting better at my thumbnail game. I know I like told you that like I didn't give a fuck basically about thumbnails anymore. I rethought it and I'm like, well, you know, I don't have to make thumbnails like everybody else on YouTube. I can just do like a Photoshop thing, you know, like use the thumbnails as a way to improve my Photoshop skills. So like I did like a collage-y thing, which was cool. I felt like I learned a lot in like basically 3 days. And yeah, I found a lot of old magazines that were out of print and didn't have copyright issues, and use them like in some of my thumbnails and stuff. So yeah, last video, did you guys watch it? I know, right? Right. She served me pizza. Jodi Arias served me pizza. So if you haven't seen that, go watch it. It'll be linked to below. But anyways, so yeah, I've just been, you know, I did the editing and working in Photoshop and managing my health because it sucks. I have new doctors. Like, I have basically 10 fucking doctors I see. It's crazy for all of this shit going on. So yeah, that has been a nightmare. So and yeah, Patrick's still working from home, but today he goes into the office sometimes, and today's one of those days. And I would have started vlogging earlier, but they're doing construction behind my house right now, which is so annoying. Like, I looked out and I'm like, oh look, there's an excavator. And the only reason why I know what an excavator is because of David Dobrik. Yeah, fun fact, that's the only reason why I know what an excavator is because of David Dobrik. Good times. Also a side note, Patrick is not allowed to go within 100 feet of David Dobrik because Patrick's only got one eye, and apparently people around David Dobrik or in the vicinity of him are at high risk of losing an eye or having an eye damaged or going blind in an eye when they are around him. So I have forbidden Patrick to ever be around David Dobrik, which I don't think we have to worry about. But if there is ever some reason Patrick has to be around David Dobrik, he can't get within 100 feet of him. I don't even want him talking to him. They need to get a translator because, damn, like, just write a letter, send an email. I don't want him near him because he only has one fucking eye. Which, yeah, you guys have all seen Jeff Wittick's series about his eye, you know, getting it hurt and stuff. That was kind of sad because, like, part of me, like, saw Patrick, you know, in that. And so it was kind of hard for me to watch, but you can kind of see Jeff go through that, like, process of, my life has changed and I'm not the same person that I used to be, and a lot of people have a hard time dealing with that when they have a disability or become chronically ill or have, you know, something permanently happen to their body that they're not going to be able to change. And this is it. Especially traumatic brain injuries. Patrick's had a traumatic brain injury when he was in his car accident, along with losing the eye, and he did die. But going through those kinds of things are really tough, and going through that kind of change is really hard. Which, the whole thing of the, you know, changing when you go through those types of processes, I always knew that I changed as a person when I started this vlog going deep, but I didn't know really what we were gonna do or talk about today. I just knew I needed to do something. So I didn't feel like I just sat around all day, you know, smoking my meds. I need to be more productive. So, back to my story. But when you go through something where you get a chronic illness or you go through an accident, like I had a slip and fall, and then Patrick had a car accident, it changes you as a person, and you almost can't be who you used to be after that. For a long time, that was really hard for me to accept that I was a different person now than I used to be, and that I was never going to be that person again. Which is, it's sad, but in a way, I try to look at it as more, I try nowadays to look at it as more of a empowering thing. One of the things that actually made me realize that, and I've been meaning to bring this up in a vlog, or a video, whatever, just when we're chit-chatting, but one of the things that made me realize this was that the Enneagram Test, I guess it's a personality test or a characteristic test. It's kind of reminds me of like Myers-Briggs or something like that. Those kinds of type of psychological testings. It's called the Enneagram, and it categorizes people by numbers. I heard about this thing from Alicia Marie and her sister Ashley, and Ashley had a podcast with her, with Taryn. They both have a podcast, and they did a whole series where they talked about the Enneagram and stuff. And one thing, when I took that test, Patrick took it, he was a 3. When I took it, I had a problem with that test because it came across to me as very ableist. It felt like the Enneagram test was ableist on some of the questions they had, because I felt like there were questions where I was almost forced to answer a certain way because of my disability. One of them was like, there were some questions about being on time, there were some questions about flaking on things, and I remember when I took that test, I'm thinking, well, if I had never gotten hurt, back before I got hurt, I used to be on time to everything. Actually, I used to love showing up to things early, and I was always the person who did everything for everybody. I liked being, you know, helping. I was very dedicated to school. I took a lot of pride in the fact that I was in college and I was going to be a nurse. And being able to do all these things for people, and the schooling, and the fact that I felt like I was doing the right thing, was where I got a lot of my self-worth from and stuff like that. I was a very driven person, but after I fell, I had to give up I had to give up my dreams. I had to change my life around. Suddenly, I could not always be on time. Suddenly, I couldn't be in college anymore because I was having reoccurring pancreatitis, and I would sign up for courses at the beginning of semesters when I was still trying to make it work, and have to drop out because I couldn't keep up, or I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it because I was ending up in the ER a lot with the pancreatitis, and I was having a lot of bad back days, and that was back when I was getting cortisone injections into my back, and because of my health, I just could not do those same things, and that was where a lot of my depression derived from. You know, a lot of things changed, like I couldn't have children, and, you know, just change. You guys have been here, you guys know. So when I took that test, I realized that, and it gave me a 4, right? And I cried because I told Patrick, I go, this doesn't feel right, because there was a lot of questions that I was forced to answer a certain way. Like, this was the only answer I could choose because I was physically incapable of doing those things that I wanted to do. Does that make sense? There are things that I want to do that my body just can't do anymore or make happen. I always say, like, hey, you know, today I would love to go out and do something. I would love to go for a jog, but my body can't do it. It physically cannot do it. And if you're a spoonie, you know what I'm talking about. And so Patrick told me to take that test again. And he said, take it as if you were not hurt in the past, and that I got a 3. So I guess from what I understand, that sometimes you can have a main number and a wing number, and then as you get older you can switch around or whatever. But it showed me kind of in a way how I changed. Now I still don't know exactly how I feel about the results, just because I don't like that this isn't innately who I am. When I answer some of those questions, it's just because physically, because of chronic illnesses, I have to choose this answer. And I still don't like that. I still have this feeling like it's ableist, but I'm not. I would like to, I guess, talk to somebody who knows more about this test, and Patrick only knows what he heard with me listening to vlogs and the podcasts, Alicia, and then like her editing me here. Okay. After this, finishing the vlog and stuff, I did a little more research on the ideogram, and I wanted to see if anybody had done any scholarly articles or whatnot. So the ideogram has its own journal, and I found a scholarly article by a woman named Anna Sutton, and apparently she did her doctoral research, her PhD research project on the ideogram, and seeing if it was like a real good tool. Apparently, from reading her thing, they use this a lot in like business and whatnot. She goes into a lot of different like pros and cons with the ideogram and whatnot. I'm gonna link that below. I'm gonna link the test below. And then there's another article I found by the Wall Street Journal by Lauren Weber and Elizabeth Dwoskin. I can't say the last name. You know, I'm not good at pronunciations, but they talk about personality tests and if they are discriminatory, mainly in the workplace, but they start going over, you know, if these tests are actually valid to be giving to people, if they're an actual measure of their personality based off of the questions, which I kind of talk about in this vlog about my problems with them. But I'm gonna link these things below, and you can check them out yourself. You can take the test. But I found this woman's article on the ideogram super interesting. She talks about different research they did on you know, where they pull people together and they, you know, what do you call that, Patrick?
What?
When you do like a test on a group of people.
Study?
A study, yes, yeah, a study. Different studies they've done on, you know, people with the ideogram, different factors, like if stress affects the different outcomes of the test, different situations and things like that. Then they would also have spouses and stuff take the test and see if it correlated with, you know, whatnot. It's super fascinating. So I'm gonna link all that below so you can check it out. Yeah. Maybe it's an indicator of how I changed because of my injury and my health conditions. I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. I'll try to find the link to that test. There's like a free one online and a thing that explains all of it, so you guys can check it out yourself. I've heard some people say that some of those types of tests are just bullshit, that people are just too complicated to be put into categories like that. Especially, like, I hear a lot of people talk about astrological signs, and they'll be like, well, you know, I'm a blah blah blah, and I'm like, well, I'm a Libra, you know, blah blah blah, and my character, that's why I'm this way. And it's like, you're putting yourself in a box because of an astrological chart, which usually people go off of Western astrology, which is just an amalgam of lots of different cultures' ideas of astrology into one. So you're categorizing based off of something that it's kind of a bunch of bullshit, if I say so myself. Like, it's an amalgam of all this shit. I mean, really, if you're gonna look at anything, you should look at Vedic astrology. I've done, we're usually in the evenings when I'm winding down for the night, I like to listen to a lot of like things on Buddhism. I've gotten into a lot of Mahayana Buddhism, and I listen to a lot of Alan Watts on that, and then I've gotten into learning about Tara practices and things like that, and going into that. And then it also, Buddhism kind of it came from Hinduism, so I like to listen to a lot of that. And I got into listening to Vedic Astrology, and how over in India they still do matchmaking of various degrees. Some people willing, some people not, but the willing people is what I'm talking about. There was a Netflix series about this, and they were going over how they'll do the Vedic charts and some of the things they look at in these charts, which are super complicated. And this Vedic astrology goes back, supposedly, I think from what I remember, thousands of years. So these charts are super complicated. Like, I don't even know. I just watched the videos and I'm like, yeah. About that, I was watching one and they were talking about soulmates, and how you can see great couples of the past, how they've done their charts and see how they line up, and they're able to see patterns in couples. And one of the patterns was like having to do with your moons are exactly opposite each other, I think, on the moon wheel. And that was a sign that you were soulmates. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And when I looked into me and Patrick charts, we had that exact configuration. And they said that that was this one thing, that it doesn't matter what's in your chart, it doesn't matter all the negatives they see on the other aspects of the astrology. If you have this one thing where the moons are opposite, I can't remember what it is exactly. If I can find the video, I'll link it. It's super fascinating. It's a soulmate indicator, apparently, that no matter what things or obstacles you overcome, that you will always override them because you have this one thing. I mean, it kind of made sense to me because me and Patrick are exactly 2 weeks apart almost. We're only off by a couple hours. I was born the 8th and he was born the 22nd of October, and we were both in the evening, and so we're only off by like 2 hours or something like that apart, 2 weeks apart. So we're almost exactly 2 weeks apart. So when it comes to the moon cycle and stuff, I was like, okay, well that makes sense because we're 2 weeks apart, you know, our birthdays are 2 weeks apart. But yeah, it was interesting to see that, and I was like, well, maybe that's why we've been able to overcome all this shit, you know, my chronic health problems, being broke, me suing that giant company, all the other crap. Maybe that's why we were able to overcome it. But yeah, I know I went on a tangent. We talked about the Enneagram, astrology. I don't remember what we talked about before that because of my head, but yeah, I'm gonna leave that info about the Enneagram because I know a lot of you guys are spoonies or have chronic illnesses like me, and I would like to get your opinion on if it seems ableist or not. So yeah, I think my whole scribble scrabble through the whole astrology thing is, don't take that shit too seriously. You are a human being. Human beings are pretty fucking complicated, and if it makes you, if these things like the Enneagram Test, Myers-Briggs, astrology, Hindu astrology, any of this stuff makes you feel better, by all means you should use it as a tool to make yourself feel better, but don't ever let it make you feel like you're less than. You know, when I looked at the Enneagram and I kind of felt like, wow, this meant I'm this way now because I physically can't, I'm being put into a box because of my physical limitations. And I think that was what I had a lot of problems with it. So to sum all this up, so this seems like a more cohesive kind of TED Talk. Don't let those things put you into boxes. Don't let tests or these types of things tell you who you are. I mean, these are just personality things. They're not diagnosis. They're not your doctor telling you. That's a totally different thing. But don't let these like popular type, personality, quizzes or things tell you who you are. You know who you are. I know sometimes it takes us a little while to figure that out, but you will, and you will know who you are. And so what I'm saying is, don't let these types of things tell you who you are. They were just written by other complicated human beings. A lot of times people come up with these types of tests and things is we like to, naturally, humans like to categorize things because it goes back to way back in the day, evolutionary theory. So yeah, don't be put into a box, okay? I don't know if you guys can see this. My mom, we have little crystals hanging all over and they come through in the hallway. Isn't that neat? Yeah, so yeah, they're just fun to see around the house. So show you what we're having for dinner. Well, the first part of it is done. Our kitchen is a mess, but we're real AF that way. I made sweet potatoes in my mini oven. You know how I love my toaster oven because it's accessible for me. We made sweet potatoes. I just washed them real good. I put some of that spray oil stuff on them and put them in there. They come out super sweet, kind of caramely. Let me show you. I think you guys can see. Turn on some more light for you. You can see some of the sugars coming off of it. And so when you cook these bad boys long enough, you get some of the sugar starts to caramelize and stuff. It's so good. And then once these cool off, it's easier to just peel off the peel. So yeah, but we're gonna hook these up later with some black beans and avocado, and that's gonna be dinner. Yeah, we had pizza last night for dinner in honor of my new vlog going up because we were, you know, Jodi Arias serving me pizza, but we've been trying to eat a lot more healthy and trying not to splurge as much like that. So yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. But yeah, this is what is for dinner. Yeah, so what's up? It's fire! Yeah! So, we just decided to get out of the house and drive around and listen to music because we're bored as shit. It's really hot today, you guys. It is.
111 right
It's 111 degrees out right now. Like, what the?
At 7 o'clock.
Yeah. So, we just decided we'd drive around and listen to some music. Maybe we'll stop and get snacks somewhere or something. Got our masks. I skipped makeup today because it's hot. It would just melt off.
It's overrated.
Yeah, you don't always need makeup for certain things, you know. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just driving around. I was like, I better start, you know, the talking part of the vlog right now since there's still light out.
It is the golden hour.
It is golden hour. Sometimes we get pink hour down here. That's actually a thing.
Right.
Pink hour is a thing. But there's not a lot of clouds or moisture in the air because of how hot it is. So, yeah, no pink hour.
It's more of a peach beige kind of thing.
It's like a sherbet hour, really.
Right.
Sherbet hour. So, what's up? Okay, so we stopped to get milkshakes at this place called Lambert's. I didn't film inside because there was like kids and stuff. Oh my gosh, okay, the guy, I don't know if you noticed it, but the guy who was scooping our ice cream, the girl who kept coming up to him was totally flirting.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't pick up on that
She
at all.
kept flirting with him and stuff, and like she flicked water at him and stuff.
Oh wow, yeah.
So she kept coming up and like asking questions.
Oh, is this what they wanted? Or?
Yes,
Yeah.
but she wasn't helping us.
Yeah, I noticed she kept interjecting, but I wasn't
totally
paying attention.
flirting with him, and I don't even know if the guy fucking noticed. So
he was probably as oblivious as I was.
I got chocolate macadamia nut.
I got Thatch Roof Sundae.
Yeah, this place is like like Hawaiian-y type. I think that's the company's base, so like a lot of their flavors are like Kona flavors, like coffee, macadamia nut. They have Dole Whip there, which is good.
And then build you like a whole sundae with Dole Whip and put tahini on it.
Yeah,
it's like
they
a
do.
Whole thing.
They do. Have you ever had tahini on fruit? It's like a Mexican type, you know, snack type thing. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And in Southern California, you mostly see it. And so they'll take the Dole Whip and they'll put the tahini on the Dole Whip. And then they'll put one of those, I don't know what they're called in English. I don't even remember the Spanish. But they're like those sticks.
The Mexican candy sticks?
Yeah, and it's like a chili paste on like a straw. A straw almost.
Yeah,
and they stick one of those in there. Pretty good.
And so you can suck on that. It's delicious.
This is really good. Yeah, we thought this would be good to like for driving around purposes.
Jink showed me a Coke. He said this was really good at the same time.
I hate you. Hi Frank, you in the vlog with me? Huh? Oh, hi Mr. Frank. Hi Amy. You gonna help me in the vlog too, Amy? Hey, hi. So yes, we're home. We're home. Hi. Oh, Amy, he likes to climb into the bathtub, but yeah. We're home from our drive. It was nice. Go ahead and end the vlog here. Yeah, this vlog was kind of all over the place. I know back at the beginning we talked about the Enneagram test and my thoughts about it and whatnot. Let me know what you think about that. I'm gonna try and link that information below on the test, and you could take it for free if you want to try it. See if you feel like it, if you're a spoonie like me, if you feel like it's ableist or not. I don't know. You remember that test that made me cry? Yeah. Because I realized my personality was different? Yeah. Yeah, I was telling them about that.
I remember that.
Yeah, made me cry. So, yeah. If you guys are easily, you know, triggered by taking tests like that and crying, don't take it. But, you know, it's like Myers-Briggs or something. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to end the vlog here. So, as always, I'm sending lots of love to everybody because we all need it. I love you. Mwah, mwah.